Well, it's official. Shadow is dead. Long live John Smith. Well, super elite secret agent John Smith to you. Goddamn, dude, I did not expect Eminence and Shadow to go this route in the next episode as the first episode of this new arc, but okay, I guess we're doing corporate espionage and bringing down the whole financial system. Why not? Before we get into the review and reaction of episode 4 of season 2 though, if you enjoyed this video, please remember to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to not miss out on content and videos and all that good jazz, and I deeply appreciate your support. That being said, episode 4. You know, after the absolute peak episode last week, I didn't really know what direction we were going to go with this one, but okay, I guess we are just going full-on corporate espionage and super secret agents like it's the Matrix or James Bond. To start off with here, we do find out what the meeting with the Therianthrope woman last episode was, as he joins her ranks to be a corporate spy, to basically bring down his own company, or Shadow Garden company, and this other major corporate alliance, and then reap all the profits for themselves, or for the faction of this Fox girl. But then later we find out his actual plan is that since he has seen that the aggressive business practices of the Mitsurugi company have basically made every other company and business interest in the city turn against them, he's now going to bring it down and crush it, and then crush every other business empire in the capital to then rebuild it and make it all basically the same again, just with a new name, and then putting the Shadow Garden back in charge. Sort of doing a double secret agent, double-sided play with this one. But oh boy, Sid is really living himself into this scenario as he goes balls to the wall with this new, let's say, role-playing scene of his. And I am sure it will have a lot of unforeseen consequences, as is the usual for our dear Shadow, or John Smith in this case. One thing I was not expecting in this episode, though, was this Fox girl, or Therianthrope, her throwing absolute shade at not only the banking system, but entire financial system and fractional reserve banking. Literally just calling the entire banking system con artists. It's like, damn, based. I didn't know we were doing allegories here, but oh boy, I appreciate it nonetheless. Now to quickly go over this here, I do think it is interesting how they are building the scenario of like, okay, Mitsurugi, they came from nothing, became massively popular and powerful quickly, they even made their own bank, their own paper currency, and now this other corporate alliance is doing the same, and how what Mitsurugi did, establishing themselves and being so aggressive in their practices, made them have all these enemies, and now we are seeing the effects of that, and the ensuing chaos and conflict. Again, it is really not something I saw coming as a plot point in this arc, but okay, I'm digging it. It's gonna be a lot of fun, especially as Sid has his new super secret persona. And once again, the humor hits very well in this episode as well, as Sid basically gets an idea of copying Cash again, as he was trying to do in his last life that didn't work. He comes up with this plan to the white-haired fox girl there, Therianthrope, and basically gets told that's not gonna work, just copying, because they'll immediately trace it back to us. Of course, Sid is brokenhearted with this new money-making scheme being crushed. And in the end, we basically get him pressuring her, or making some very dramatic commentary to her, to then her coming up with an elaborate plan that ends in a bank run that will collapse the banking system there. And of course, her thinking it was Shadow's idea, or John Smith's idea, to which he, I suppose, quietly accepts and sulks off the train. It's like, yes, that is her perfect plan. Yes, of course, I was planning this all along, of course, yes. And of course, how the Therianthrope girl there, I would say, is impressed by what she thinks he thought of, and the plan she thinks he made, and just the reactions and expressions between the two of them during that conversation. I was bawling. Like, goddamn, dude. Stop being so funny by having just some weird-ass still shots. You have no right to be this entertaining. I do also like how they are establishing this as, okay, this other corporate alliance outside the Therianthrope conglomerate there that Shadow is now part of, in a sense. They are apparently led by a evil-esque Therianthrope killer guy who secretly runs the organization and also has connections to the cult, of course. And now we are basically going to have a war well, covertly have a war anyway between these two entities, and potentially more. I can't wait though till the end of this arc when Shadow Garden is like, oh, our all-seeing leader, he thought of all this beforehand and made all these moves in secret to save us and make us better than ever before. Oh, it's gonna be great. I did also really like though seeing Delta again. We have seen very little of her except for a few moments here and there, but we actually got like some decent content from her this episode. I did love her basically just being introduced as she is like a dog on the side eating meat that Sid gives her, and then the absolutely over-the-top camera angles, if you know what I mean, you know what I mean, as she was riding on his back, the back shots, the front shots, like all the shots, just like, goddamn, that's a lot of buns and other forms. Okay then, okay. But she is absolutely an adorable animal pet. I mean, as Sid says, she basically acts like a personal pet, and she's adorable. In the end, they end up hunting, as that's what Delta wanted to do with Shadow there, and as she is massacring these secret assassins that they find, like an absolute mad animal, she ends up finding her brother, or one of her brothers, and kills him. Now Shadow, of course, asking, are you sure that was a good idea? He was your brother, after all. But then, apparently Therianthropes, or her clan at least, don't respect the weak, and since her brother was weaker than her, she killed him, because, well, we can't have weak people in our family. That's not acceptable. And apparently she has 1,000 other siblings, because Therianthropes breed a lot, and I guess the leader has the complete exclusive access to all the females. And if they kill too many because they are too weak, then they just make more, which is, I guess, one way to do it. That's one breeding strategy I haven't heard of before, but okay. Doing some mad Sparta vibes with that one. And then, of course, as they are leaving there, Delta having this conversation with Sid of like, yeah, you can just beat my dad, and then you'll be the leader of the clan, and then, you know, I'll find you hundreds of women, and I'll have 100 of your babies. And it's like, you can be all-powerful and have all these girls and this massive harem. It's like, nope, not happening. Not happening. Forget about it. But just the conversations and the interactions with Delta were absolutely great to see. I really like Delta the more I see her. She's like a totally adorable character that I hope we get more screen time of. Even though she is like simple in a way, she is very entertaining, and the interactions you get from her personality, or lack thereof, or lack of higher thinking, I suppose, really makes for an entertaining couple of minutes. I'm also interested to somewhat to see what comes of the supposed connection between this white-haired Therianthrope that's a leader of the one tower in the Lawless City, and this cult-connected secret leader of this corporate alliance, because apparently they have some sort of connection, as she really wants to kill him herself, and you see that she has a scar on her back from before, which I assume was dealt by him at some point in time. So I'm kind of interested to see how that confrontation will resolve, and what else might be lurking below the surface in terms of interpersonal relationships, and how different characters might have connections with each other during this new financial arc, I guess we'll call it. Anyways, though, I suppose with this episode, we can cement the fact that Shadow is now dead. So long live John Smith, at least for the time being. And I have to end it with an absolute perfect sentence from Sid himself about this whole new situation. As he says, I am the man who betrays his own organization in order to save it. The super elite secret agent, John Smith. And with that bombshell, I suppose I'll end this episode review and reaction. What did you think of episode 4 of season 2 of Eminence and Shadow? Leave those in the comment section down below. And if you enjoyed the video, please support me in any way you can. That being said, I had a great time this week. Can't wait till next week. And if you want to watch another video of a fun show from this season, click on this video right here. Bye-bye.